Please, this video is just for inspiration and encouragement.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am a pretty lady with the popular two heads. I am the two heads that is better than one. But before I tell you about my two heads, let me tell you about my superwoman, my grandmother. My grandmother became pregnant while in school, and her parents, who were known persons in church, couldn't hold the shame. They forced her to marry my grandfather immediately. My grandfather wasn't educated, but luckily then his business was doing fine. My grandmother married and never got to finish her education. After a year of giving birth to one of my uncles, the husband's business failed. They tried all they could to rise again, but it seemed destined. Then they traveled back to the village to live. Then they gave birth to the man that bettered me, who is not worthy to be called my father. Now back to me. I started staying with my grandmother when I was 5. My grandmother told me my parents had waited 3 years for a child. When I arrived, I was born with Megalencephaly, an abnormality that causes increased head size due to increment in brain cells. She said his son forced my mother into throwing me away because such a child hadn't been seen in the village. When she refused to throw me, he accused her of evil doing as the cause of my birth. I guess he couldn't stand us. He remarried. My mother started raising me with the help of my grandmother. When I turned 5, she couldn't continue in shame and worse people in the village threw at her because of me. She left me with my grandmother and remarried too. But she often does visit. My grandmother became my god. She enrolled me in the village school. She kept teaching me how to read and write, how to behave and not be afraid. In school, other kids would bully and mock me, calling me names like Ojisi Karo Monna. It looked like as I grew, my head size increased. Learning was difficult for me, but one thing Granny taught me that I learned and understood faster was to fight back any kid that tried bullying me. Sometimes I broke down and cried. Only my grandmother understood me. She would tell me words that could wake a dead soul. I did my primary school till I turned 17. I started catching up by 15. By 17, I accepted my full self and stopped feeling rejected through grandma's strength. It was at 17 my special gift manifested. I could tell what would happen to people around me in next minutes and hours. The gift started bringing people to me. My grandmother encouraged me to charge people money for the prophecies they sought. I made a lot of money because people from beyond my village were visiting. My grandmother took me to a good hospital for consultation, and we were told that Megalencephaly has no cure, but the symptoms could be managed. I started taking treatments and therapy. Then I continued my study. People still paid me for prophecies. I finished secondary school and proceeded to university. Some people still looked at me like I was an alien, but they still pay me to see what happened next for them. While in school, I started encouraging others with abnormalities through my media platforms. And soon, I had a foundation for people born different to help them discover and accept themselves. My foundation is staffed with the right professionals for every unique person. They get to be encouraged and empowered in their journey of life. They don't have to feel different nor rejected again because I have felt that for them. Now my father wishes to be a proud father. I get funds from across the countries and also from my business I add to the foundation. I named the foundation after my grandmother. Ofuneka Nnem is the Strong Mother Foundation. Now I have better understanding of spiritual gifts. I think my grandmother understood then, but she saw it as God's means of provision. I no longer charge money for prophecies, and I choose who to prophesy to by the leading of the Holy Spirit. Please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe for more videos.